Okay, this video is about powering up and loading some tools into the FADAL machining center. Remember I said there were 6 steps to operate a CNC machine. Power up, load some tools, set your tool length offsets, and set your origin and run your program, and then power the thing down. We talked about this in class. The first thing we have to do to get the FADAL machine running is to turn on the electrical power in the back and press the CNC green button and hold it down for a few seconds. And so I'm going to take care of that right now. Back on the back, here's the electrical switch. And you do hear the machine coming to life. I'm going to press the CNC power button. I'll hold this down for about 2 or 3 seconds. And I don't know if you'll hear it on the video, but you will hear the hydraulics and things kick up. All right, now the machine is in the process of booting up, and we can move to the machine control. Now, in the instructions we talked about in class, I said the first thing that you would do is check each of the indicators. On the Haas machine, machine home is set on the extreme far corner of the table. On the FADAL machines, we set normally in the middle of the table, and so there are a series of indicators that we want to align before we actually set machine home, or as the FADAL calls it, cold start. The cold start position and machine home are exactly the same. So the first thing I want to do is actually get you to see where those indicators are. In order to move the machine around, I'm going to press the jog button here. This activates my controls so I can actually demonstrate how these indicators need to be aligned. We want to do this before we go any farther with this machine. So I'll press the jog button and give you a chance to reposition the camera so you can see each of these X, Y, and Z indicators. And you see where it's at down there. You back on? Okay, what I've done is while we're in the jog mode, I've come over to our control over here. I've positioned for the X-axis. I've also set my increments to 10,000s, and I'm going to move the table negative and positive direction. You can actually, hopefully you can see the indicators. One is on the table and one is mounted solidly to the machine. What we want to do is be sure that that line is pretty close to being lined up. The machine will take care of making it exact. We just need to get fairly close. So the one for the X-axis is on the front of the machine. I'd like you to take a look at the one for the Y-axis. The indicator for the Y-axis is down on the side of the table. Again, I'll move the table. Hopefully you'll be able to see the movement of that in and out. What I want to do, and I can do this from the front of the machine, I can lean in and I can line those 2 lines up pretty close like that, and that would take care of my Y-axis. Again, I want to check X, Y, and Z. The Z-axis is a little more difficult to see. It's on the column of the machine. I'm going to take the head up, and hopefully you can look in and you can actually see the line right there. This line needs to be aligned to the bottom of this casting. And this is very critical, because if it's not aligned properly, the tool changer will crash when you do a tool changer. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I'm going to take it down. And again, this is something you can do from the front of the machine just by leaning in. I'm going to find that line right there, and I'm going to bring my casting down to that mark. And that aligns all 3 indicators. Now this should be done when we shut the machine down, but in case it is not, we want to make sure that we check these before we power this machine up. Now, one of the things that's really nice about the FADAL machine is it's a simple machine. You can almost operate it if you'll just follow the prompts that are on the screen. The prompt at the bottom of the screen here says press any key to continue. Now in class I said the key you want to press is the space bar. When I press the space bar, it opens up a menu of things that you can do here. What we want to do is select number 9, which is a cold start, which basically sets the machine home. I'm going to press number 9. I'm taken to the next menu here that says number 1. Would you like to continue? Or we have an option to jog to align the axis. If for some reason you forgot to check the alignment, you have a chance right now by pressing the jog button and actually lighting up the indicators. So you actually have a second chance at making sure they're straight. Again, I want to tell you, it's very critical to check that before we go ahead and continue running this machine. In this case, I'm going to select number 1 to continue. You actually will hear the machine make some movements. That's those axis motors lining themselves up to 0 position. And at the bottom of the screen, we have a little prompt, do you want to move to the last home position? Now, if this is a machine you run every day in a company, and you know no one else has been running it, I would select yes. It will save you having to set the origin again. But if you have not run it, if someone else has run that machine, I would always say no and have it give you an opportunity to set the origin again. You want to be absolutely sure that it's set to where you know it's set. So I'm going to select here no, and in this case I'll have to press enter, and we are now powered up and we're ready to run. So this concludes this part of this video.